Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back again here on a Monday night for the Top Hat Comics Super Late Model Series here for the Crooked Line Racing League. We're at Rockingham for 100 laps tonight, but joining me as a special guest, the other half of True Sim Productions, Tanner Marr. Tanner, how's it going tonight?
You know, Sam, barring a few technical difficulties not allowing me to race, I'm doing okay. I'm excited to be up here in the booth calling action with you. It's going to be a good one. Throwback night right here at the Rock.
Yeah, this is a classic track, and not a lot of people really race it anymore, but it's good to see Crooked Line coming here tonight at Rockingham, again, for 100 laps. And Tanner, I was talking to Zimmy a little bit there before the race. We know there's a couple keys to the race tonight. Only 48 laps really on fuel, and you got to take care of that right front.
Man, tire management is going to be crucial here tonight, and you mentioned it with the fuel right there. 48, 49 laps, that's not even going to take you to halfway, so you're going to have to stretch that fuel out as long as you can. 100 lap race, it's going to be an interesting one when it comes to pit calls as far as fuel and tires go.
All right, Tanner. Well, I believe these guys are going to start getting ready to go into qualifying here, so we got to head down trackside, and we got to start pre-race ceremonies. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please rise and remove your hats for tonight's national anthem, done as always by Joshua Rutherford. And thank you very much, Joshua Rutherford, for a great rendition of our national anthem. Everybody, if you please could go check out Mullet Music Productions on YouTube and go give Joshua a subscribe and a thumbs up. We are in qualifying here, only 3 minutes left. And right now, Brian Zimmerman in that number 28 is sitting on provisional pole with a 23.66. And that 28 car is looking faster tonight, Tanner.
That 28 car, I spoke with him quite a bit this afternoon, and he loves this track. He wants NASCAR to come back here. He campaigned for this track to be put on the schedule, and we love us some Brian Zimmerman, so we had to put it on the schedule for him. This one of them tracks that you either love it or you hate it, right? And Zimmy, you can tell from that 23.66, he currently is loving this track. Chris Carroll right there behind him, 23.72. So it's looking like a pit loser performance 1-2 right now if qualifying was to end.
Jason Corrin looks like he's finishing up his qualifying run. Good enough for 11th on the board. Christian Pittman out there going to be starting his qualifying run. So let's keep an eye on that number 14. He's ran well the past couple of weeks here. He's got a couple of podium finishes, but still hasn't locked in that win.
Wanted to put a quick note out there. Although Chris Carroll in the number 99, he is sitting P2 right now. He failed post-race tech last week, so he will be starting from the pit lane when these drivers do take the green flag. And the 13 of Thomas Axum. Last week's winner, he does not get to qualify. He's automatically starting at the rear of the field. That's going to be an interesting storyline to watch, seeing those two fast guys going through the field tonight.
And from what I'm hearing from a couple of drivers, just kind of listening around earlier in practice, it's going to be tough to pass here, especially you have to take care of that right front tire.
You better take care of the right front. Tonight, it's basically like Kenny Rogers said in his old song. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and you got to know when to push all the chips to the table and go all in. This track is really, really abrasive. Going to be super, super hard to conserve that right front, right rear, heck, all 4 tires. But the driver that can manage that and play the chess game correctly here tonight, that'll be the driver that sits in top hat victory lane.
14 of Christian Pittman was faster on his second lap. He did a 23.80. Good enough for 5th position on the board right now. Taking a look at the number 66 of Chris Sawyer. Coming to take, I believe, his second lap qualifying. Yep, goes on the board right now. 15th fastest, 24.49 for the 66. Gets a little bit of the apron there coming out of turn 2.
You got to be careful with that apron. You're playing Russian roulette when you dip those left tires down underneath that yellow line. Took a little bit higher arc right then, Sam, but then exited right next to that yellow line. This track, it's famous for being multi-groove. But the flip side of that is, it is going to be tough to pass, right? The speeds are so high in the corners that these drivers are carrying that it's just really tough to pass. It's going to take a mistake from these drivers to be able to get by and do it cleanly.
About 6 seconds left here in qualifying. Everybody who wanted to take a time has taken a time. It looks like Brian Zimmerman's going to go ahead and take the pole here tonight.
Brian Zimmerman, fast time as we're getting ready to get that grid rocking and rolling.
You're absolutely right. Just doing a couple things here. Grid music playing. We got to start getting through the grid here this evening. Brian Zimmerman's going to be on the pole, but as Tanner said, Chris Carroll does have to start from the pits from failing post-race tech last week. But he'll have that second pit box, which is good advantage for him. So Jeff Clifton going to be starting in 3rd in that number 1. Newcomer Marquis Smith in the number 3 is going to be starting in 4th. Christian Pittman in the 14 is going to be starting in 5th with Derek Stanley in that number 15 starting in 6th. Larry Bell in the 43 is going to be starting in 7th with Troy Tarbuck starting in 8th. Kyle O'Danick in that number 21 is going to be starting in 9th with Guy Barrett in the 02 to his outside in 10th. Mitchell Muma is going to be starting in 11th with Scott Smith in the number 53 to his outside. Jason Korn in the number 39 is going to be starting in 13th position with Chris Sawyer in the 66 starting in 14th. Garrett Crow in the number 38 is going to be starting in 15th with Brandon Metler to his outside. Now, Brandon Metler's showing the number 22, but I'm pretty sure he is the number 15 as well. But we'll double check that and make sure. But Brian Treadwell in the 48, 17th. Thomas Axum again has to start from the rear of the field, being last week's winner. Tanner Marr having problems with the super late model this evening, electing to come up in the booth. And Chris Clark and Jeffrey Miller round out your field for tonight's main event.
Driver's going to look to battle it out at The Rock, more famously known, Rockingham. Right at a mile in length track here tonight. So one of the bigger, quote-unquote, short tracks we're going to visit on the schedule this season. I'm excited, Sam. I'm excited with Marquis Smith, league newcomer in that 3 machine. He qualified P4, but he's going to get the blessing that he didn't even know about. Chris Carroll starting in the pits. That's going to allow Marquis to scoot on up and be on that front row with Mr. Brian Zimmerman.
Yeah, it definitely gives him a little bit of an advantage here on the start, but also it could give him a disadvantage. It looks like this is going to be a low-line racetrack, so he's going to have to get down to the bottom side of the racetrack as quick as he can.
I would have to venture a guess it's going to be a fight for that bottom all night long, a fight for the bottom. But, like I mentioned, there is multiple grooves here. You just got to be careful. Coming off turn 2 and coming off turn 4, it's some of the most treacherous exit corners I can think of when it comes to oval racing on the entire sim of iRacing.
It's definitely something we got to watch all night. I mean, you and I have raced here a couple of times, and you're absolutely right. It's very treacherous coming off turn 2. It's just like the wall kind of comes out of nowhere. It tightens up super fast, and one thing you don't want is to get stuck 3 wide there for sure.
Oh my goodness, I don't want to be 3 wide anywhere on this track, but 3 wide out of turn 2, no sir, I don't want to sign up for that one.
Well, these guys have done different things before. We might see multiple grooves here tonight. You never know. Pace car's going to duck on off. First start is in the hands of the flagman here. Fire him off, and green flag is underway here at Rockingham.
Ooh, I noticed a little bit of wheel spin out of the 28 of Brian Zimmerman. Looks like him and Marquise had a ditto type start right there. Advantage to the 3 car though on the outside. Might look to be able to put the power down on exit and get the lead. As advantage still to the number 3 as they enter turn number 3.
They're still going to be side by side through turns 3 and 4. Zimmerman's going to come up a little bit, almost a little bit of contact there. And now he's going to give him plenty of room going down the front straightaway. Still battle for the lead here. But yeah, Tanner, I want to point out, you definitely saw some wheel spin out of that number 28. He tried to go, but that car almost went around on him.
It did, and now you see the orange car in third. That's Jeffrey Clifton having just a little bit of connection issue. That's just a product of iRacing. We are on the internet. Hopefully it gets sorted out fairly quick. But man, oh man, we have a great battle for the lead. Marquis Smith on the outside is not giving it up, going toe-to-toe with one of the fastest dudes in Crooked Line Racing, the 28 of Brian Zimmerman, proving that he does belong here.
And now this is exactly what I was saying right before the race started. We might see something interesting here tonight, and we are. We're seeing that top line kind of hang in there, but is the 3 of Marquise, is he going to burn up that right front that we were told you need to protect tonight?
We thought nobody wanted to be that leader tonight. Nobody wanted to set the pace, but it looks like Zimmerman in the 28 said, here, I'll be the leader. I'll set the pace, because he was able to power down off the bottom and get clear of the 3. And now the 3, though, I'm starting to notice here, he's going backwards. Now the 14 of Christian Pittman's looking to his inside.
Yeah, but he also could be realizing, hey, you know what? I'm running this top lane. It's probably burning my tires up right now. I need to back off and just kind of ride a little bit. Because you see even Pittman backed off just a little bit there as they come out of turn 2.
As it looks like most of the field has kind of single filed out now. Just going to be clicking off some laps, trying to conserve their equipment. As I'm trying to look through the field here just to get tabs on everybody else. You got Scott Smith right here. I'm not sure what position he is in. Larry Bell right there in front of him, I do believe.
Yeah, Larry Bell's sitting in 8th. Scott Smith running behind him in 9th. Scott is up 3 positions already from the start of this race. And it's probably one of the best runnings we've seen out of that 53 all season so far. So good job to Scott Smith. We're going to see if he can maintain that here for about another 93 laps.
The Rock, man, oh man, we're going to talk about it all night, but the Rock gets so abrasive. I'm noticing these drivers already starting to move up slightly on the track. As we have the shot on Thomas Axman, a 13 last week's winner. He's already gained quite a few spots, so he is a big mover already, looking to get that number 13 up front, get that track position. But remember, folks, only about 45 to 50 laps is the most they can do for fuel here tonight.
Yeah, Thomas Axum's up 6 spots from the start of the race. Remember, he had to start from the tail of the field because he won last week's race. And Chris Carroll, with that penalty, he's made his way already up into 17th. He had to start from the pits, but he didn't lose a lap, Tanner, and that's one key thing here at Rockingham.
That was the one thing he was worried about. He just said, as long as I can get out and not lose a lap, that'll be best case scenario. And looks like best case scenario came true for him, because he is still shown on the lead lap.
Trying to work around that 48 machine of Brian Treadwell. Treadwell up 1 position since the start of the race, sitting there in 16th. Let's go back up to the front of the field. Clifton is still sitting in 2nd, and Zimmerman's still leading. Marquis still running 3rd, and Pittman right there in 4th. Throw a blanket over the top 4. And even Derek Stanley back there in the number 15 car. He's just kind of hanging out and riding, watching these guys battle.
He is indeed your top 5 right now. Zimmerman, Clifton, Smith, Zimmerman, Clifton, Marquis Smith, Christian Pittman, Derek Stanley, and you got Troy Tarbuck sitting there in P6. But you are right, the top 4, throw a blanket over them. As Jeffrey Clifton still experiencing a few little hiccups with the internet here. That's never nothing you want to see, especially when you're out front. He's just hoping, please, baby, hang on.
Yeah, but you know what? These guys are still, regardless of him kind of in and out like that, these guys are doing a good job racing around each other, giving each other plenty of room, and being aware of that connection issue, right? Like, we know that is an issue, racing online and everything, but these guys doing a good job here tonight.
You got to manage it, right? That's just something else you got to manage. It looks like the 3 is really good on that section of the track, turns 3 and 4. He really drives to the back bumper of the 1 car there. So it looks like Marquise, now that he's on the low side, he is feeling at home because he is putting down some blistering fast laps right now, setting a pretty good pace.
Yeah, right now he's not too far off from the race leader's time. Last time by, first place at 24.38. Clifton with a 24.40, and Marquise actually ran a 24.31. So all these guys up here running pretty identical lap times. As you saw right there, Pittman having some issues going into turn 1. Looks like he had to avoid a little bit of contact there between the 3 and Marquise.
I was trying to pull up live scoring and timing on my end right there, so I kind of missed that. But then I look back and see a big gap develop there. Now throw a blanket over the top 3. 14 of Pittman's going to try to get back up there to him, but Zimmy, he's kind of just setting the tone right now for the race. I really thought, even after he got the pole, I thought he would just kind of lose a few spots and just ride, but it does not look like ride is in his vocabulary right now, because he is setting a really good pace around here. But is he asking too much out of that equipment right now? Still early, very early in this race.
Kind of running an interesting line there in 3 and 4 as well. He didn't go all the way to the yellow line. He kind of rode the middle of the racetrack. So I'm wondering if he's kind of just floating around, like trying out these different lines, seeing which one's faster.
He has the ability to kind of search right now around the track. Yes, he does have Clifton right there on his back bumper, but Clifton's kind of doing the same thing. Clifton's not running the same line lap after lap after lap. He's kind of searching. One thing we haven't noted here tonight, Sam, we talked about the track surface, how abrasive it is, but this track surface is one of the more bumpier tracks that we will come to this season, or any season for that matter. This is a very, very, very bumpy track. It's an old school pavement. It's old, it's weathered, it's used, but man, oh man, it is really bumpy to the point where right here in 1 and 2, as you see these guys entering, the bottom of that chassis is actually hitting the ground there, and it upsets the car a little bit. You see Clifton actually stepping it out a little bit. He's getting a little loose, it looked like.
Almost got into the wall right there. I mean, you pointed it out before the race started, how treacherous it is coming off of turn 2 and how quick that wall comes up to you. We almost saw a perfect example of that as we're riding on board with the 3 of Marquise Smith. Clifton almost getting into the wall coming off of turn number 2.
Really cool camera work right here provided from True Sim Productions. I love that shot right there. A true showing of the speed that these drivers actually are hitting here. This is a short track, but they are hitting some pretty high top speeds, and I'm actually trying to figure it out right now. As I said all this, trying to lead it up, and it's not telling me, but we will get it figured out because they are moving around this track, hitting about 150, top speed about 160, 165 right there, Sam.
Yeah, they're definitely hauling the mail, and that's the biggest thing, right? Like, these super late models are meant to be on a little bit smaller of a track. Not saying that Rockingham isn't big, but it's not as small as some of the other tracks we go to on the schedule. So these cars are really wound up, and that's obvious. We got a caution.
Oh, caution on the speedway, Sam. Yeah. So people have a little bit of misconception about these cars. Is that Mitchell Muma?
Yeah, Mitchell Muma on his lead on the backstretch. Let's see if we can't get a replay on that. So it looks like he's going into turns 1 and 2 here. Him and Treadwell. Oh, just slight contact there coming off turn 2, Tanner.
And that's all it took. End over end for the red machine of Muma. That's a tough break right there.
Hey, he went for a ride too. Let's see if we can't get another angle on that. You see, and this is what we were pointing out in the pre-race, ladies and gentlemen. This turn 2. You see the 48 might have not known where that wall was because it does come up quick, and unfortunately gets involved with the 98, sends him around, and Mitchell gonna have to go to pit road.
I would have to venture that car might be toast. Going to have to pull it down victory lane, pull it down pit road, and see what they can do. And I imagine pit road's getting ready to be fairly busy right here, Sam.
Well, we said, I mean, we're going to kind of go with the whole they can only make it 45 to about 50 laps. Zemi said 48, but you never know. People could save fuel. People could use more fuel. You know, you don't know. So we're going to say about 45 to 50 laps, and this is going to get them to probably about lap 75 to 80. So this is a good call by everybody coming down pit road. But the real question is, are you going to see tires being changed here?
I think it's too early to change tires, but these drivers, they throw me for a whirlwind every week. This is iRacing this series, right? We talked about that already. This is one of the most competitive super late model series I've had the opportunity to run in. And I mean, these drivers, they're on the ball. They are on the ball. But I want to touch back to something we were talking about with the speeds here at this track. People kind of misconstrue super late models. They think they're just bulky and heavy cars. These cars are much lighter than your average NASCAR. So when they get at a track like this right here, they can really, really hit the speeds. Going to have a big motor, got some nice horsepower package to them. But people think they are similar to NASCAR in the weight department. They're really not. These are purposely built race cars these guys are driving, these super late models. I love them. They're my most favorite car on the sim by far.
While we're under caution, we're going to go ahead and take a short break to get a word in from our sponsors. We'll be right back. And we are back live here on True Sim Productions. Choose cone in effect. Two drivers electing to stay out on the racetrack, Chris Clark and Jeffrey Miller. You see the drivers picking which lane they want, inside, outside.
There was a lot of takers to the outside right then, Sam. That actually shocks me. But I say that, we just saw the 3 of Marquis Smith really hang up there with Brian Zimmerman, battling it out for the lead, had to lead at times on the outside lane. So there is an outside lane here, that is for certain. And some of these drivers, they're going to go up there and try their hand on it.
We're going to have to see if it works out for him here once again. But, I mean, Zimmerman did prevail, though, and that's the biggest thing. Did Marquise really burn that right front up trying to stay up on that high lane? You are moving faster. It's going to use a little bit more tire. I don't know, but the biggest thing is here we got two drivers. Interesting strategy, not pitting. Everybody else came down, took fuel. This 91 and this 79 hasn't taken a pit stop yet, so we're going to have to see what happens.
I like the call, though, Sam. That's going to put them out front. I've always said if you're not fast enough to beat the leaders, get off strategy of them and beat them by strategy right here. We're back green flag racing.
You see a bunch of guys, Tanner, that wheel spin almost hurt a couple of guys. Even Troy Tarbuck back there in 7th right now, he got a little sideways. Brian Zimmerman was the only one that really got a great launch right there.
A huge launch as he's already battling for the race lead out front. And then look at here, you got 2 wide, many rows deep as they are going door to door, trying to get everything they can on these restarts. You got to try to get every position you can.
They were almost 3 wide back here with the 14 of Pittman and Tarbuck and Bell back here as they went into turns 3 and 4. They're still side by side. And you know Thomas Axum is back in this mix along with Chris Carroll. They've been trying to make their way up through the field as they're actually nose to tail back here on the inside lane, trying to get around Scott Smith.
When we're racing in a season battle like this, these two are our points leaders coming into the night sitting 1-2. They know they cannot afford to let each other get too far away from each other. It just so happened that the week Axum had to start in the back for winning was the week Carroll basically had to start in the back from a penalty, right? So it's amazing how racing works, and let's put these two race horses of drivers. I mean, they are really fast. Put them in the back of the pack behind the 8 ball, and now not only do they got to contend with the rest of the field, once again, they got to contend with each other as well.
Great racing going on back here mid-pack. You see Carroll and Axum maybe kind of working together a little bit because they're kind of following each other through the field here as Carroll's working around the 15 of Metler, trying to chase down that 43 of Larry Bell. Back up to the front, how about Zimmerman and Marquise? They both got around the 91 and the 79, and now they are starting to pull away from everybody else. Marquise looking to try and get the race lead once again.
Marquise is still just riding right there on that yellow line, going super low into the corner. Zimmy, he is taking a little bit different approach in 1 and 2, 3 and 4 as well. About a full groove up off the track right here. So we do have some multi-groove racing.
And Marquise Smith, he's getting a good run there coming off of turn 4. And you can see right there, he gets a great run through the center of the corner. I just think Zimmy's got the preferred line right now. He's just got it figured out because he gets that pull going down the straightaways.
Like this, Sam, where the speeds are as high as they are, that driver in front, he basically dictates this race right now. Yes, Marquise, he can get up there and rough Zimmy up, but he's not going to do that, right? He ain't going to get up there and try to rough him up. He's going to try to pass him clean, and right now, Zimmy's basically putting together perfect turns. It's hard to get around somebody that's not making mistakes, and you're seeing it right now. Marquise might be a tick faster in 3 and 4, but what can you do with just a tick faster? You got to be quite a bit faster to get around these guys.
Riding on board once again with the number 3 of Marquise Smith. You can really see the different lines being used. You see Marquise is entering just a little bit lower. Zimmerman kind of drifts up the track a little bit, almost like he's diamonding the corner, Tanner.
Like he's racing at Martinsville out here at the old rock, ain't he? He is. He's approaching this track completely different than normal, but it's awesome to see, and obviously it's something that I need to be taking notes with because I struggle here normally, and well, Zimmy's doing anything but struggle right here.
Well, you did mention that the 28 does really like this track, and he's showing it right now. Out leading the way, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Shut up and sit down.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right, and we are back live, ladies and gentlemen. We are under caution. It looks like we had a couple drivers tangle out on track. It might have been the 53. Let's go back and take a look. So we're looking at the 53 right here. Oh, gets up into the wall a little bit. So does the 79. 79 gets in the left rear, turns around to 53. That's what brings out our caution right now.
Had a few drivers get up into the wall right there. It looked almost synchronized the way those drivers were trying to do it right then.
Bunch of guys electing to come back down pit road too. Get that tank full of fuel once again. But we got one who stayed out on track, 38 of Garrett Crow. Marquis Smith just beat Brian Zimmerman off pit road. I think Zimmerman might have taken tires this go around, Tanner.
It may be that time, as I'm actually going to try to see if I can get in touch with the driver of number 43, Larry Bell. Larry Bell, you were live on True Sim Productions. Do you have a copy?
I do.
So, Larry, we've been watching you. You're currently sitting P9, I do believe, if live scoring and timing is correct. How's the race coming to you, and how are you liking your chances in that 43 car right now?
To be honest, I'm just pretty much riding, trying to save tires, hoping that I have some sort of right front at the end of this, but so far it's been pretty uneventful for me.
So, Bell, you're on broadcast, right? Other drivers can't hear you unless they're listening in. I really wanted to ask, what are your tires looking like right now, and did you take tires on your last stop? You did not, it looks like.
I did not, no. They're looking pretty worn for sure.
All right, so we are wearing that right front, I take it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we'll get you back.
I'm thinking I might come for mine if next time caution comes out.
Well, right on. Well, hopefully it works out for you, Mr. Bell. 43 will get you back down there to your race team, as I hear we're getting ready to get the choose cone going.
Thank you.
Yep, good luck, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Larry Bell right there in the 43. One of my favorite people to race with out here, as it's choose cone time, Sam.
Yeah, and here's the question. What are you going to do? It looks like, I don't know if Marquis took tires or not. I think Zimmerman did. If not, he just had a little bit longer of a time on pit road. But, all right, here we go. So Axum doing what he's supposed to do right there. He goes all the way up to the wall. So we know Axum's taking the top side. Now that choose cone's been working out for him because he's already up inside the top 10.
Indeed. Chris Carroll currently going to be sliding in the 5th place spot, I do believe. So those two are in tandem, most definitely. Put a hitch on one of them. They're dragging the other one to the front, it looks like. But just a quick note about Zimmerman. It's hard to tell, right? Looking at the pit stop time, you had almost an 11-second stop versus a 10-second stop. Did Zimmerman take 2 tires right then? I mean, that's the question at hand. I would have to venture a guess. We're going to find out pretty quick. If he took tires, the pace is going to be quite a bit different for him.
Well, again, we have a bold strategy of the 38 at Garrett Crow up there, not coming down pit road. Last pit on lap 22 on the first caution. So we're going to have to see what happens here. Watch for that wheel spin, ladies and gentlemen. Getting ready to go back green flag racing here at Rockingham. Garrett fires them off, and we're back underway. You see them all wiggle just a little bit. They're going to go barreling down into turns 1 and 2. Marquise with a great run on the high side. Give the lead to Marquise Smith. But look at Christian Pittman and Thomas Axum on the top side.
My goodness, the top side was a train right then. As a caution on the speedway, yellow is out. As I'm not sure what transpired here, Sam.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not showing me anybody wrecked.
Thinking Clifton.
Yeah, it was Clifton.
Yeah, I was thinking Clifton is by the way the timing looked. And looked like he did more than wreck. Holy goodness. Was this an internet issue right here? We noticed him coming in and out.
Try and back up. So he's gone right there. He comes back. So we're going to try and slow this down for everybody to see at home. Looks like might have just been a misjudgment call. Kind of got a little bit of contact there with the 39 of Jason Korn. A little bit of that 15 car of Stanley on the inside and sent the 1 car around. And again, just having those connection issues all night long here. Just a bad night overall for the number 1, unfortunately.
Note here, Sam. That's the second driver we've seen climb up to the fence and basically go turn into a turtle, go on their lid, right? So that's something to watch. You don't want to touch that wall. I guess that wall is the kiss of death here tonight.
So Marquise Smith gets that number 3 machine out to the race lead. Christian Pittman doing a great job running to the high side. Takes over second spot. Thomas Axum up 15 positions since the start of this race. Sitting in third. Garrett Crow on that restart didn't pit, but he dropped back to 4th, but he is up 11 spots since the start of this thing, so he's sitting in a good spot. Might have been a good strategy call for that number 38. Track position is key here.
I think it's going to be a great call, and I was fortunate enough to speak with Crow right before we actually went live here on True Sim Productions. He actually just purchased this track, so he never turned a single lap on this track until practice went live a while ago. So he's probably just now starting to feel like he's getting acquainted and getting the hang of the track, you know. So that's another storyline to watch because now that he's up front, can he keep that 38 up front and stay up there? I'm noticing a little bit of nose damage on him too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point out. I saw it there when they came through turns 3 and 4. We got a good angle of it right here. A little bit of front end damage. Not sure if that's going to hurt him here, but it just might be in Rockingham. Like we keep saying, it's a little bit bigger of a track. It's not like those normal short tracks that we go to week in and week out.
I would venture a guess, and now this is just a guess, and I don't even want to call it an educated guess, but just a guess that's probably hampering him a little bit. I would have to say it has to be hurting him more than it's helping him, that's for sure. Speeds are so high here. I don't necessarily think there's draft out here, but there could be something. Now, I heard 2 to green as we wait for the lights to go off on that beautiful Ford Mustang out front, but I feel like this will be single file, Sam. I do not think these drivers complete the lap.
We're going to have to see right here, waiting on race control.
If race control does deem it single file, from a driver's point of view, this right here, it takes a lot of discipline in single file because I mentioned it earlier on these restarts, you try to get everything you possibly can. And when you're single file, you basically can't. It looks like they might be doubling up.
Choose cone.
As I can't tell, nobody's really choosing. I think we're single file here, Sam.
It looked like they started choosing there at the beginning, but yeah, they're single file again. So yeah, they didn't complete a lap under green. Looks like we're going to be single file. So Marquise Smith is going to lead them down to the green flag once again here at Rockingham. And Tanner pointed it out, these single file restarts are very difficult. It's not like, I don't know how to explain it, Tanner. How do you explain it? Double file restarts to me are easier than single file restarts, right? Because you really got to wait on the guy in front of you.
Right, and if you're double file, say you're double file in 6th place, you're only basically 2 rows off from the leader. If you're in 6th place now, single file, you, in your mind, we're going to go philosophically here, you feel like you're further back than what you truly are. That may not make sense to a non-racer, but to a racer, it absolutely makes sense. So you look at here, Pittman's right on the back bumper of the 3. As some wheel spin once again, you're seeing the back end of those cars wiggle. I was really nervous about the wheel spin right there, but
yeah,
looks like
I don't know if that was wheel spin, Tanner. I saw the 14. The 14 was really eager to get going on that restart. He bumped the 3 quite a few times there. Might have got the 3 out of shape. He looked like he was just trying to wait for maybe the green to come out or just before the green to come out before he went. So, I don't know, maybe a little impatience there with the single file. As you said, very difficult to get positions here. So I can.
You said that, I'm sorry. As soon as you said that, I started smiling because I saw that, but I just wasn't going to bring it up, right? You did. He was definitely hitting him right then. He was definitely very impatient on that restart. Could have caused a big incident right there, but luckily both those drivers were able to keep it going. When you're getting hit like that on these restarts, as soon as you go wide open, basically, that's what you're doing. You go from nothing to all, just right down to the throttle hard. It's easy to get spun right there. So Marquis Smith did a great job right there getting his back bumper knocked off.
He's doing a good job right here maintaining the race lead as well. Pittman just can't seem to run him down. Lap times, Pittman's a little bit slower than Marquis here. And believe it or not, Axum running just a tick slower than Marquis as well. So he's out there, he's leading, he's just running consistent lap times. Let's go back to 4th place. Brian Zimmerman led most of this race a little bit earlier, but now fell back into 4th position on pit road.
He did. He kind of went from being the bride to the bridesmaid really fast just through the pit road. I do believe he took 2 tires, but if he did, it'd be hard to bet on it because he is not up there battling with the leaders. But is he playing chess when I'm trying to play checkers right here? Is he thinking big picture, trying to conserve those right side tires? So Zimmy is a 2-tire taker. He just is. That's what he likes to do. So it's hard to tell right now.
So tires aside, I want to talk about fuel because everybody pit on lap 44. We did just have that caution. Nobody came down pit road. They had a chance to save a couple of laps. Do you think we got guys who can make it to the end now? I think it's going to be very close.
It's too close to really say for certain, right? If you're just sitting here basing it off the eye test, I'm going to think the 3 and 14 can make it because, man, oh, man, it looks like fuel's the last thing they're worried about right now. They have set sail away from 3rd place to Thomas Axum.
Pittman's actually running a little bit quicker than Marquis the last couple of laps. I mean, as you can tell, he's right up on the back bumper of that number 3 machine. Looking to the inside down the back straightaway. We got a battle for the lead going into 3 and 4.
Looks like Marquis made slight contact for the lead right there. I thought Marquis was kind of just letting the 14 car have it. 14 washed up a little bit and boom, almost went to dynamite right there. It almost exploded now. Marquis clips that apron a little bit. Are we seeing a little bit of frustration from the 3 camp?
I mean, has the right to be a little frustrated right there, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, he gave the 14 plenty of room going into the corner. The 14 washed up. It's a product of racing, right? Luckily, they kept it going straight. Marquis can get back in his rhythm and get back in this thing.
A track like this, although it's not, like I mentioned earlier, it's not your typical quote-unquote short track. This is a very much a rhythm track. Something like that knocks you off your rhythm. You got to rein it back in, try to get refocused, and you see the 3 car trying to hunt back down to 14. But they can't just lay around too much. They're going to have a 13 to 28 right here. Trying to close that gap down. Axum took a weird line right there. Was he loose or something?
Yeah, that was a really interesting line there, Tanner. I mean, you saw Zimmy almost had to. It seemed like he was trying to avoid him right there almost, right? But it looked like Axum was trying to run maybe a high to low line. He was really trying to straighten off the exit of turn 4.
Trying to see if he does it this time. I don't know if that was by design or by mistake, but it did. It looked really, really weird.
Running that time through 3 and 4, I think we can confirm it was probably a little hiccup on the 13's end because he went right back to the bottom side of the racetrack there in 3 and 4 that time by. Marquis starting to run back down. Race leader Christian Pittman. Wonder if Pittman maybe burn his stuff up just a little bit once he got out to the lead.
I'm always going to be one, Sam, to call it like I said. I'm a racer. I know how we think. You're a racer. You know how we think. It's Marquis currently seeing red right now. Like you said, gave the 14 plenty of room. Are we getting ready to see fireworks? I'm not manufacturing storylines. I'm just providing what they're putting down out here. The 3 car, he is getting there to the 14. I think these last few laps, he has definitely been faster. If you look at the eye test, did the 14, burn up his stuff, racing with the 3 too hard right there. We have noticed the leader has felt pretty comfortable all night. Is that a product of clean air or is that a product of just speed? I don't know. We're going to find out.
13, I think, is struggling a little bit, Tanner. He just lost a spot to Brian Zimmerman. We didn't catch it, but in the wall there going down the back straightaway too. Just having a rough night here. He fell back into fourth. Still a good night, but I don't know. Looks like he's struggling here on this long run.
He definitely looks off the pace compared to his normal runnings on Monday nights here, right? He's the two-time race winner, I do believe. Don't fact check me on that, but I'm almost positive it was two-time race winner. But right here, we had to battle for the lead. We may have missed it, but right here, we're right here on it. 14 is trying to look right back down to the inside, but Marquise cannot be denied right now, I don't think.
So there you go. Prime example. Marquise was smart. He backed up, let them tires cool down for a couple of laps, and came right back at it, now back in the race lead.
Now these two, when Marquise raced with us prior at Phoenix, I remember these two, they had a run-in with each other. I remember it because I'm an admin and I had to handle it, right? Is that playing a factor here? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not manufacturing storylines, just bringing to you what they're putting down, right? Right now, 14, he is right there on the back bumper, so all that stuff I said about the leader clean air advantage, I don't know if it's there because second place, vice versa, no matter who it is, it's been right there on the back bumper.
Yeah, and the thing is we saw Marquise maybe try to give Pittman a little bit of room before. I don't think we're going to see that now. So you see him there just kind of holding his line, making sure he's taking the air off the nose of that number 14 car, anything he can do to maintain that race lead.
But as a racer, that's what we do, right? It's probably, we kind of put ourselves at a disadvantage by doing that kind of stuff, but we can't help it. We're racehorse mentality. If we feel like we've been wronged on the track, then in our heads at the moment, two wrongs make a right.
So far, though, only a simple mistake between these two guys, and still clean racing, great racing all around. I mean, still battle for the lead. We got 30 laps to go. We're going to take a real quick commercial break. It's going to be the final one of the evening. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Shut up and sit down.
And we're back live here on True Sim Productions. Marquise Smith managed to hold off to a hard-charging Christian Pittman and has gapped him about a half a second, just a little over a half a second here. And I don't know, Tanner, we've been talking about it a little bit. I don't know if these guys can make it on fuel.
I really do not expect them to make it on fuel. And something of note, while we were underneath that commercial break, I was able to scurry down the pit road and find out from the crew of the 28, he did not take tires. I did not see anybody take tires, actually. So these drivers are coming up pretty close to having 80 laps on their tires here. I can only imagine what that car's feeling like right now. And if you look at the lap times, too, they're a full second, almost a second, almost second and a half slower than their fastest time. So, I mean, lap times are definitely falling off a cliff, too.
Yeah, and actually, you see, these guys are starting to fall back to Zimmerman and Kyle. How about the 21 of O'Day, Tanner?
Where'd he come from?
I mean, literally, we got to start calling him that, because even in the Tour Modifieds, he's won the first 2 races, just coming out of nowhere, sitting there in 4th.
Just ran the super high lane right then, looking like Kyle Larson. Was the 21 cat and mousing these guys right here? He's to the inside Zimmerman. Oh, what happened there? Was there contact?
I don't know. It looked like Zimmerman got the wall coming down the back stretch, and O'Danick tried to make a move on him because, I mean, Zimmy made a mistake, and O'Danick just tried to capitalize on it. Might have been a little bit of side door contact there going into 3 and 4, but they keep it straight. We stay green.
All the names up front that we thought were solidified, put them in concrete up front. Not no more. O'Danick up there. Metler's up there. Chris Carroll's up there. So these guys, I think they've been riding, saving their tires. So,
I mean, something had to have happened, right? Because Marquise had a heck of a lead. And now all of a sudden we got a blanket over the top 5 almost, side by side for the race lead as we go through turns 1 and 2.
The most dangerous spot of the track right here, Sam, battling for the race lead. Got the 21 right behind him. May look
at
3
wide.
Right here.
Oh my God!
This can't continue here. This ain't Talladega, boys and girls. This is the Rockingham. That's allowed Chris Carroll also in the 99 to get past teammate Brian Zimmerman. Remember, Carroll qualified P2 on the night, so has good pace. And now he has a track position also to show for it.
Look at this. This is insane. Look at this.
What happened? We went to commercial, came back, and it's a different race.
Oh, Carroll, a little bit of contact there between.
Oh, it's into the 14.
Save it, boys. Good job. Good job. The 99 got into the 14. The 21 got into the 3. Almost the top 4. Everybody was sideways. Big wreck behind them.
Guy Barrett going over top. Looks like he may have tried to clear himself off Zimmy's nose. I shouldn't say that until we watch the replay, but that's just what it looked like live. Sorry. I call it like I see it. But man, oh man, something had to give there, Sam.
Yeah, something had to give. And I tell you what, Tanner, we're under caution now, and we're only going to have so many laps to go. This is where we're going to see tires, and we're going to have a great finish, just like we always do. We're going back to the replay here, see what happened between the 02 and the 28. Yeah, it looks like, yeah.
I don't know, though.
That was really, really weird. Let's back it up one more time.
Looks like somebody put a magnet between those cars, and they just...
So it looks like Zimmy comes down, realizes the guy's there, and he's thinking Zimmy's more up towards the wall, right? And he just comes up a little bit, and that's just causes a chain reaction. Unfortunate circumstance. Guy was, I believe, 2 laps down at the time, and gave Zimmy a little bit of damage there. So unfortunate night for the 02, but this is it right here, Tanner. Everybody coming down pit road.
I'm going to try to be the guy to take 2 tires right here. 14 laps to go. We'll be about 10 to 11 laps to go when they go back green. I don't want to take 2 tires right here, but I'm not out there, right? What's the call here?
I don't know, man. I mean, everybody was really worried about that right front. Nobody really mentioned anything about the left sides wearing super heavy. So to get the track position and go for it with so many, like you said, we're going to go back to green with about 10, 11 laps to go. Why not go for it? You got nothing to lose.
As it looks like Marquise Smith, I'm not even sure he took tires.
7 seconds, maybe no fuel, but tires only.
7 seconds, you're looking at maybe 2 tires, if that, but I don't even know if that's a 2-tire stop, Sam. I got to go back and see what happens here. I am not 100% sure. And I'm hearing some people say they've already used their set of tires. They're staying out, so they're going to be in front of these guys that are going down, taking fresh rubber.
Yeah, you got drivers like the 91 of Chris Clark who stayed out. Jeffrey Miller.
Marquis Smith did not take tires under that that caution.
Has to come back down pit road, Tanner. He's back on pit road.
Marquis Smith is?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Was there a mishap on pit road for the 3 car? There had to have been. Why would he? This is an unscheduled stop.
Might be a little bit of a miscommunication there between the driver and crew chief. Let's see what happens here.
No.
Yep, right side's going up on the number 3, so definitely some miscommunication there between crew chief and driver on what they were going to do on the first stop. That's unfortunate, having such a great run here in the first night for Marquis Smith. Gonna have to go to the back and try and get as many positions as he can out of this.
So we're coming to choose cone right here. You got Chris Clark, Jeffrey Miller, Derek Stanley, Kyle O'Danick, and Chris Carroll. That is your top 5 currently as it sits. I'm telling you, I'm going to call it right now. Off night right now for Thomas Axum. Yes, he started in the back, but he's somebody you can almost shoehorn up there to the front week in and week out. Currently sitting in the 8th place spot. Going to see if he can benefit from this choose cone.
So a lot of interesting moves here.
A lot of moves against the rules right there too. So got to button that up a little bit. Sorry, that's my race control admin hat I'm wearing right there. I didn't like the way that choose cone looked, Sam. Give it to me from your point of view.
I don't know. The first half of the field looked pretty good, but the back half of the field
looked terrible.
Yeah, it didn't look that great. So
looked terrible. I'll call it like I see it. Man, oh man, how many laps to go we got, Sam?
We're going to be coming to 10 laps to go here, and remember, these 2 that are up front, they did this earlier in the race when a caution came out, stayed out under caution. They last pit on lap 44. I don't know, man. Bold call.
And they nick it on fuel.
I mean, with this caution, they probably can, but it's going to be close. We're going to see here in the hands of Chris Clark. Got to watch out for that wheel spin. Going to be 10 laps to go here at Rockingham.
I look for the speed chart to be upset right now as 79 does not get a great launch at all. Chris Clark does, Stanley does, and look at the movers and shakers. Everybody fighting for that inside lane, going to try to get around the old tires of Jeffrey Miller. As now it's a battle for the race lead. Derek Stanley's to the inside. They're almost through with cautions down the speedway.
Not sure what happened. I think it was for a little bit further back. Brian Treadwell in the 48 having some issues.
This is one of the multiple issues tonight.
Okay, so it looks like they went 3 wide there. Marquise with a great run. It looks like going down the front stretch. I mean,
I'm going to say this. They were 3 wide, but there was plenty of space there. Marquis Smith in the 3.
Oh, absolutely.
He knew they were 3 wide and gave them drivers plenty of room down there.
Right there, he backs off. He just gets a good run to the outside and takes it. I mean, good move on Marquise's part. You see the 48, maybe just not sure where Marquise was going to be. Came down and got into the 0-2. And that's going to bring us under yellow one more time here tonight. But that works out for that 91 car of Chris Clark.
Absolutely. Click these laps down. 48 right there on that restart just looked a little weird. Looked like a dart without feathers, but man, oh man. As I'm hearing the chirping right now, the drivers, they're saying if you're gonna pick your choose cone, you need to do it at the start finish line. So I wasn't the only one that thought that was a little sus last time. As it looks like Brandon Mettler getting his lucky lap back, being the lucky dog.
Looks like that's going to put him back on the lead lap.
You like how I call it the lucky lap? I was trying to say lucky dog, had Jeffrey Miller screaming lucky dog in my ear, and it just kind of came out, and we just kind of rode with it. If I never said anything about it, you wouldn't even knew I did it on accident.
So here's the real question, Tanner. I mean, you got a lot of different strategies being played here. The leader last pit on lap 44, and then the next 5 cars behind him all pit on 87. Derek Stanley in a good position to win this race. So is Chris Carroll, and even that number 21 of Kyle
couldn't put money on anybody right now, man. I'm expecting fireworks right here. Late race restart, different tire strategy up front, 2 to green. It's probably going to be single file if I had to guess. We'll have to wait on race control to determine that. But if it's single file, that 91 machine is looking like a genius right now, Sam.
Well, that's what he wants to see, right? We've already mentioned it. These single file restarts are a lot more difficult to get going. You have to pay attention to the guy in front of you, and it's all on whether he goes or does not go at a good time. And you're absolutely right. This 91 of Chris Clark looking like a genius out here, staying out under that caution, getting the track position, leading this race with 7 laps to go.
Hunting for his first crooked line racing win right here too, mind you. I promise you, I've been there, done that. Nerves are rattling right now. You mean Earnhardt said he didn't mean to recommend to rattle his cage. I promise you, Clark's cage is rattling right now because just from nerves. This is a talented field. To get that first win is something hard to come by. It took me 2 seasons before it finally happened, right? It's tonight. What will you do for a race win? As we're coming to the choose cone, we're going to see if race control determines this needs to be single file or not. It is single file, it looks like, Sam.
So that's going to benefit that number 91 machine.
Nutter Butter out front.
Hey, we're coming to 5 to go when we take the green flag. If he gets a good restart and can just be smooth and consistent, he's looking at his first win here in Crooked Line.
I'm nervous, Sam.
I'm nervous for him, absolutely.
Everybody loves a good underdog story. I'm supposed to be completely unbiased, but man, oh man, this will be a feel-good story if Chris Clark can get up there and out-strategize these boys and get him his first race win. Hey, Derek Stanley, number 15, the Aaron's Dream Machine, he's also hunting for his first race win too. So will we see a new first-time winner? Or will Chris Carroll, Kyle O'Danick, or Thomas Axon right there spoil the victors? We're getting ready to find out. 5 laps to go, 4 to go, I think, at the stripe, Sam. I can't really see, but I think
5 laps to go at the stripe here. Green flag back out in the air. 91 gets a great jump.
A lot of real estate between the 91, the 15, and the 99 of Chris Carroll. But it looks like the 15 is able to just carry a lot more momentum and amplify that to the 99 because he is on completely fresh tires. Looking to the outside of the 15. It's going to get close here as they're coming out of turn number 4. They're going to be 3 wide. Oh, Chris Clark is tagged in the back.
Oh, they're wrecking behind them.
Oh, big wreck up front, too. Big wreck up front. Caution down the speedway. As all guys are still piling in. Is that the 21? That is 21. The 21. And then the 48 had to make sure you got a piece of it as well.
All right, we got a lot to go over right there. A lot happened.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
So I know it started. Who did that start with? That was up near the front. We saw the 91, and who is that? The 15.
Is that the 91 and Axum right there, though? That kind of, or not the 21 and Axum kind of door bang too.
Well, it all starts right here between the 91 and the 15, right? You kind of see they're almost 3 wide. That sends them down, but that only sends the 91 down to pit road. And then right here, the 21 looks like he's trying to avoid the 15, gets up into Axum a little bit, and they get sideways. And yeah, the 21 trying to catch the race car kind of right rears the 15 up into the outside wall. We got to keep an eye on that 15 machine because right here is when everything kind of happens. Or actually, we got to keep an eye on the 21. Oh, comes back up onto the track right in front of the 3 of Marquise. Unfortunately, it looks like maybe some brakes going out in that 21. I don't know.
I want you to do me a favor really quick. If you could you jump on board with Chris Clark really quick for that wreck? He took a wild ride. It looks like he went down pit road unscathed. That he did not. And also, Thomas Axum in the 13. Looked like he climbed the wall. He may have some pretty bad damage to that right front. But let's see if we can rewind back and go on board with the 91 really quick, Sam.
All right, so let's see.
I'm sorry, I know, but watch this, man. Looks like he's going to make it down pit road. He's okay.
Oh,
boom, right
man.
through the barriers.
Oh,
Car,
I thought he made it all the way down pit road.
that he did not. And then Thomas Axum, let's see if we can get a shot of what his car currently looks like, Sam. I know I'm bossing you around right now, but he climbed the wall. Axum got on 2 wheels after he hit that wall. It's just going to be hard to get a camera angle right here.
And he does have some right front damage there on that 13 machine. Got to get that banner on there too, Tanner.
He does. Come on, Axum. You're here every week, brother. As now, our points leaders, Chris Carroll, Thomas Axum, Christian Pittman. Your top 3 in the points. That's how they stand right now on the track. Is that 13 car, is it hurt? Is he going to try to limp
I don't know,
to
man.
the finish? It was a hard lick, brother. It was a hard right to the right front.
It was a hard lick, but the thing is we're not at Martinsville. We're not at Five Flags. You know, we're not at these shorter tracks where that damage really isn't going to matter a whole lot. I just still believe here at Rockingham, that's going to affect that super late model. I guarantee
That's what I'm getting at, man. I don't know what his turn-in ability is going to be like when he dives off in turn 1 right here. And truth be told, he probably doesn't know either.
Carroll's going to the top side.
Are we going double here?
We are going double.
Did they complete a lap?
Again, not sure what's going on back here, back of the field. I don't think
the 48 of Treadwell decided he was going to drive on the apron.
All right. So as Tanner mentioned, I mean, your points leaders right there, 1 and 2. Carroll, I mean, that's a weird call going to the top side like that. We've seen the bottom work all night long, but we've also seen Marquise in the earlier parts of the race make the top side work. So
the one caveat is Carroll did take top, but Carroll also controls this restart. The 13 cannot fire off first, right? Carroll dictates when he fires off right here.
He's going way up to the top of the track too. And also we got to keep an eye on that wheel spin now too.
Right. He's up there on the dirtiest portion of the track up there, Sam. All that dirt and grit gets thrown up there.
Pace car is off. Carroll fires him off. We're back underway. 3 laps to go. Now 2. Popsicle 6 in the air for the number 99 of Chris Carroll.
All right, 13 car looks like he is okay. Look at the run he gets to the 99.
Oh,
right there to the back bumper. Ooh, a little bobble right there, too.
Pittman trying to make a move as they go down into turns 3 and 4. Axum trying to get to the back bumper of Chris Carroll. I'm telling you, that's got to be hurting that car, that damage. Pittman gets loose. White flag in the air.
It don't matter now, Sam. They will complete this race under the allotted laps here. 100 laps here at the Rock. Who is going to come out on top? It looks like the 99 Chris Carroll as he goes on the backstretch for the final time here tonight.
Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Axum can't get there. You see Pittman trying to do everything he can, but it's going to be all Chris Carroll and the number 99 taking home the win here at Rockingham.
As Thomas Axum brought it home P2. Christian Pittman P3. I think that's been the podium. That was for sure the podium last week. As, man, oh man. What a race. What a race. And what a comeback story for the 99 of Chris Carroll. Took a little controversy there at the end, right? A pretty big wreck. But he prevailed. Had to start from the pits. We're going to have to hope that that 99 can pass race, post-race tech.
This winning moment brought to you by Hat Comics. Chris Carroll's going to go ahead and start celebrating. They got to go through post-race inspection real quick before we can talk to him for post-race interviews. So, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Romantic, isn't it? Shut up and sit down.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we are back live here on True Sim Productions. Drivers have passed post-race inspection, and we have now gotten down here to pit road. I think Tanner's now catching up with our third-place finisher of Christian Pittman.
Was able to catch him right out here by the text chat. Christian Pittman, you are live in True Sim Productions booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
So, Pittman, I'm pretty sure the podium right now sits you third, Axel second, Carroll first. That was the podium from last week. So, you have missed a few weeks, right, prior, but this season you've came back, you've hit every race, and you've hit it in really, really good stride here. Another solid podium finish. Talk us to that final restart right there, where we have about 3 laps to go on that final restart.
I was just hoping Axum and Carroll were going to get to racing each other, and Carroll bottled up off of turn 2, and Axum got to him, and then Axum didn't take him into 3, so I was just hoping that they would get racing. And then coming to the white flag, I got really, really loose off of turn 4, and they kind of got away. But maybe 10-lap run, I might have had something for him. I felt that my car got better after about 20 laps. I was kind of slow to start, and as the race carried on, I felt like we were getting faster. I didn't like that we were trying to save fuel, but there when me and Marquise broke out to a lead, the car felt amazing, and I really didn't want a caution, but I knew I needed a caution to get fuel.
Speaking of Marquise, the 14-3, y'all went to war there for a little bit, battling side by side, sometimes making a little contact. How much fun was that out there tonight, battling somebody like Marquise, a newcomer to the series?
It was pretty fun. There was one time I don't think he liked it. We went down into 3 and pushed up a little bit, and I kind of parked him in the center of their corner. But, I mean, it's just how Rockingham is after about 60 laps on your tires. If you try to pass low, you push up. So I pushed up and got into him, and he didn't like it, but, I mean, it's just part of it.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're racing, right? We're not driving on the interstate, but once again, man, kudos. Another solid podium finish. I think this is your third, maybe fourth podium of the season already, and that's how many races we've done is 4. So congratulations for that, Pittman. Who we got to thank for the number 14 car here tonight?
I got to thank my grandparents, as always, my dad, everybody from work watching the races, 5 Kings Motorsports, MF Racing Designs, everybody at 5 Kings, not 5 Flags, Five Kings Motorsports. Of course, you guys for doing the broadcast, and then everything you do, Tanner, at Crooked Line to keep this league going.
Well, I appreciate that, boss. Thank you very much, and we'll get you back down there to your race team and let you get to celebrate tonight with that third place finish here tonight at Rockingham.
And that was your third place finisher, Christian Pittman. And I am now catching up with second place Thomas Axum. Had a little bit of contact there with that last caution, got some damage on the right front of that super late model. Still managed to come home P2. Thomas, just kind of walk us through those last couple of laps there.
Yeah, that was a wild ride. Just glad we were able to hold on to it. Definitely don't know if I hurt anything on the car, but it felt good at the end. Thought I had maybe something for Chris if I had a couple laps to get the elbows out, but yeah, had a little wild ride and can't be mad with a second when I should have been on the hook heading towards my pit stall. So can't be too mad with a P2.
Definitely. I mean, you and Chris Carroll and actually Christian Pittman, you guys have been finishing top 3 the past couple of weeks, so the points are going to get a little bit more heated. How do you feel going through the rest of the season, knowing that points battle just keeps getting closer and closer?
Yeah, I love it. It's going to be a great season. Consistency is going to be my my goal all year. Even if you don't finish first or second or third, you salvage what you can get. You get wrecked, you fix your car, and you go out and get what you can get. Points are everything. One spot could be the difference between a championship and being second in a championship. So, one race at a time, week to week. Not starting out back next week. I'm not sure what the track is, but I'm glad I got this off the bucket list because not a fan of this track, but we got it in the mirror now, so only up from here.
So next week, just to fill you in, it's going to be kind of a crapshoot. We're going to a different kind of racetrack. We're going to Daytona next week.
Oh, well, that's awesome because that's going to be a coin flip because anyone can win that. It doesn't matter. It's just going to be like tonight. It doesn't matter about raw speed or anything. It's just going to be who's there at the end, who can have their car be there at the end and in the best shape.
All right, man. Well, hey, good job on that second place finish. Who you got to thank on the number 13?
Hey, just shout out to True Sim Productions, you two calling the show. Love going back, listening to them, and all the high intense stuff. Definitely can't wait to go back and see with my car bouncing off the wall a few times at the end. But just shout out to the field tonight, all the Crooked Boys. Shout out to Chris Carroll for that win. Tanner Marr, all the hard work up in the booth and in the behind the scenes Crooked Line stuff. Just all the boys in the Discord. We had some fun tonight. Strategy calling, tire calling. So just shout out to all the boys. RKM Setup Shop, Bernier's Liquors, Studios 10 Designs, and just True Sim Production for you guys for calling the show.
All right, man. We'll let you go celebrate that second place finish. We'll see you next week at Daytona.
Thanks, Sam. Have a good night.
That was second place finisher Thomas Axum. Tanner, have you caught up with our winner yet?
No. Let's see if we can get him up here for you. All right, he is all yours. We have found him.
Driver the number 99, Chris Carroll. It's Sam and Tanner in the booth this time. Interesting last couple of laps. Kind of walk us through that there with that green-white checkered at the end.
Yeah, Sam, I drove up to the lead there, and they were beating and banging, and I might have golden nuggets in my drawers, but we missed it on the top side, and my car wouldn't turn the first lap there on the green-white checkered, and then she dug in there, and I was okay. But, I mean, it was a eventful, crazy race to get up through there.
Yeah, you had to start the race from the pits. You were worried about going a lap down. You managed to keep yourself on the lead lap. Couple cautions got you back up there. Did you think you had a shot to win tonight, or were you kind of just going for every position you could get?
Well, I mean, in the beginning of the race, yeah, I mean, I was going to make it on one stop. I figured out a way to do it. So I liked my odds there, and, you know, I just hung back, and it seemed I could drive up through there, man. I like that track, and it likes me, so I could, sorry, I got a phone call there. I could drive up through there. I drove up through there on old tires to the lead before they wrecked. So it seemed like there was multiple ways I could win throughout the race. There's points where, you know, I didn't think I topped off on fuel and went to the back there on that last long run and wasn't sure if I was going to make it up there until I did. And then the caution come out and I felt like I just couldn't ever get the lead, but we got up there and did it.
Yeah, you did, man. I mean, it was a hard-fought race for you. You had to start from the pits and basically work your way from the rear all the way up to the front. Great run overall. Who do you got to thank on the number 99?
Oh, we got to thank True Sim Productions, of course, and USA Firearms with Brian Zimmerman. We got to thank those guys, all the Pit Lizard boys, Troy and Larry and Zimmy and all the boys that Guy, all the Pit Lizard boys, and got to thank everybody out there watching. My folks are watching. I got family and friends out there, and of course Tanner Marr for putting on such a good show, man. This is a hard gig to do, and I got to make a shameless plug and say we got a snowball derby coming up December 17th. So we'll give her a go. Thanks for the good interviews, son.
All right, Chris. Well, go ahead and celebrate that win. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, sir.
That was your race winner, Chris Carroll. And Tanner, do you have any final thoughts?
Man, oh man, I do have final thoughts. Very, very, very eventful night right there. Very, very good, hard racing, especially there at the end, right? I mean, there was at one point we went to commercial, we came back, it went from a 2-man show to like a 7-man show pretty quick. So that's always awesome to see. Crooked Line Racing, I mean, we've been providing some good short track racing for a while, and races like tonight kind of solidify that. So it's good to see that. I love that. Want to do a quick note. Daytona next week, that's kind of a placeholder. We were going to try. We did try it in a fun run. Wasn't very good, so keep a lookout on the Discord because that track will be changing. Not sure where we're going next, but you'll be able to catch it live Monday night wherever we're at. We will see. Be back out on track tomorrow. I'll actually be out on track tomorrow for the Top Hat Comics Tuesday Night Thunder Tour Modified Series. I'm not even sure what track we go to tomorrow.
Oh, I can look real quick.
Well, let's see. Where did we go last week? Martinsville. We're going to Florida. We're going to New Smyrna.
We're going to New Smyrna tomorrow night. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you got nothing going on, put it on your calendars. Come on out tomorrow night, same time, 8:45 p.m. Eastern time for, as Tanner said, the Top Hat Comics Tour Modified Series. But that's going to do it for us here at Rockingham. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Everybody, you have a good one.